Okay, so we have the first tutoring session on June 9th. And so Sharon, I messaged to his mom that he can join us at 11:30. And I already covered that last week when I told her that we're going to have to spend half of the session with Arush and his mother so that he can do the pre-assessment. He's having technical issues here. I don't see Charon. And then because of these because Arusha's mother got called away on a meeting, she's not going to be available until about now. And then so this is going to change the content of this meeting. All right, but it'll all work out because I really need to go over these results with everyone in order to properly lay out what kind of tutoring we're going to have, what kind of content, how we're going to help everybody. All right, so let's just do that. Let's see about Arush. And here we are. Good evening, good morning. Okay, camera's not working. All right. So let me know if Priya, if you're there, because all I see is your computer. Your name comes up, and so it's either Arush or it's you or it's both of you. So we'll go with that. And then she is still working. Okay, no worries. Yeah. What we'll do, Arush, let's go ahead. I'm not going to go over your results just yet, only because I'm going to go over them again with your mom so that she knows what's happening. So thank you so much for trying. Okay, KO stands for knockout. Okay, so let's just jump right into something. Like I said, I purposely have not prepared anything for today because I know that it's really premature to do such a thing. Oh, Sharon, here goes Sharon. Awesome. Okay, Sharon, welcome to our session. Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you
Happy
too.
Monday. All
You too.
right. We have your friend Arush here, but he's not been able to
My video
activate
call.
his video and his audio unless you know how he can actually do that. I told him just basically to look on Chat GPT to say, "Hey, I have such and such a tablet computer, and I'm trying to join a Zoom session, but you know
Yeah,
it's one of those things where he's already restarted his computer." So
I see. Well, I'll go talk to him like if he can. I don't know what Chromebook or like computer he has, but like right now I'm using like a Dell laptop, so
Mhm.
I don't know what he's using, but like if
Oh
he has the
yes, that's true. So Arush, if you're using a school Chromebook, there might be some restrictions on there because if you're not using your although I don't think that would really matter. Yeah, because you could do a lot of things on a Chromebook. You can sign into different accounts.
oh, he's using his
So,
PC.
what's that?
He's using his PC, like he said.
Okay. Oh, I see. I see it now. Okay. All right. So, right, let's jump right in. And as you know, I purposely have not created our lessons here. We're going to be seeing a new student. His name is Arif. He's a rising eighth grader, but he's also a bit advanced, and his mother likes the idea of him working with a couple of rising ninth graders. And so, what's going to happen is I'm going to be planning that a little more today and tomorrow, assuming, um, yeah, I'm going to go over his results. So, Arush just took your pre-assessment. I just graded it, and so I need to compare yours to Charon's and also to um, Arif. Okay, so the real structure is really going to begin a little bit later, but we don't have to waste any time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you guys. Um, here's what I thought I would do. Um, you guys are all basketball players. I think that's pretty cool. I really like that. Almost all the students tutoring are basketball players. Um, so I'm going to pull up our session document and our assignment. Okay, that's not the one I'm looking for. So, basket. Yeah, right here. Edited March 21st, edited March 10th. Yeah, I think this is going to be kind of much too involved. I like the idea of us doing a project involving writing and in terms to basketball, but this was more of something I created when Sharon and Darren were still in school. So, all right, so let's take a look at this, and I want to get your guys' feedback on this. Um, because what I'm thinking I will do with both of you is now this initially became a project where it would take, let's see, I'll tell you in a second here, several weeks to finish, and it involved writing about basketball, um, discuss relevance of basketball in their lives and the importance of effective writing, introduce the project persuasive writing to convince an NBA star to visit their school, um, participate in discussion and brainstorming ideas for their speech. Okay, this was going to involve a speech, and you can see that I have the steps of the writing process here. So the steps of the writing process are, pre-writing, first draft, and this is going to be spread out over several days, right? And so you can see in day 4, which is usually week 2, each week we have 2 sessions, okay? Monday, Wednesday, and then Friday will be an office hour, which might be for some different topic or maybe the same topic here. A lot of times I just use it as a third session. Other times students have, especially during the year, they need homework help. And so I don't think you guys are taking other summer sessions. You might be, but if you're probably not taking an English class during the summer. Um, so is that correct, Sharon?
Yeah, well, if you consider this like in like an English class, then yeah.
Right. So what I thought I'd do, and I know that I have you guys at different levels. Like I'm gonna have a Reeve. He's gonna be more or less similar to you guys, but probably, he's a year behind in so because he's younger, right? By 1 year. Um, so in order to help each of you, because each of you writes slightly differently, right? Um, if I taught the same class as a class to you guys, it would be no different than school. It wouldn't really help you as much. I mean, it might. So what we do in tutoring is a little different here because it's more informal. It's more like, hey guys, let's do this writing today, this week. We're going to focus on basketball, but this week we're going to focus on story writing for basketball, story writing. And then next week we might focus on something else. But at least this way we can start some writing and we can finish it. We're not so bogged down in, okay, let's get our first draft, let's do some research. This takes a lot of extra time. And oftentimes I find it takes time away from us being able to really make the writing itself better, make better sentences, make better paragraphs. right? So, what I'm trying to say to you, all of this is focused on an essay project and a project that involves essay writing. And I think that's too much. We need to focus more on paragraphs and sentences because if you can do really well with your sentences and paragraphs and make them better, and in Sharon, you're on a different level than a lot of my students, right? So I have to look at what's going to help Sharon, and then Arush, you're going to be on a different level. You may be similar, but you're going to have different things you're going to need to work on. So I'm going to have to kind of give you more individualized attention on that. So that's why I think I should move away from the specific project, but yet keep certain aspects of it. There are four types of writing, and I think we could focus on one type of writing for each week. So this week, we could focus on narrative writing. And so I want to get you guys writing already. So, um, first of all, any thoughts, any questions? Because I don't want to just talk, talk, talk. And you can
I
feel
have a
free.
question.
Yeah,
Uh, so like with this new kid like coming around, like we're going to have like the same material, right? Because like he's more advanced for his age. So me, Arush, and that kid are all going to be like learning like the same like things or something like that.
good question. You're going to have the same task, but the way that you meet that task will be, let's say for you, let's say you're more advanced. So you're going to have to produce more. Like the rubric, um, I'm going to tell you specific things you need to work on. And during the session, you're going to be able to do enough writing where I'm going to see it in real time. Right. So for example, I might have you both write a sentence. I'm getting kind of stuck here. And then I'm going to notice that maybe Arush is got a lot of details, but his transitions are not there, right? They're not as strong. You might have great transitions, but you may not have enough depth. So I'll say to you, okay, uh, give me more examples. Do you have any that you know of already? Do you need to search some online, right? And then I would work with him on that while you're working on the other thing. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that like answers my question a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. More individualized, more time to work with students rather than, okay, everybody, we're finished. It's more like, oh, let's stop. Let's stop what we're doing. I noticed this about his writing. And then the other difference is you might write a sentence, Arush, and then Sharon and I and Ariv, we're all going to talk about that sentence and how to make it better. So you're going to hear from me, you're going to hear from Sharon, you're going to hear from Ariv, and you get all these different ideas of how to do it. So it's not just me lecturing to you and saying, "Oh, I hope they learn it," right? And then plus when it's his turn, we have Sharon's writing up there. This is called the workshop, by the way. Then Arush and Ariv and myself, we might say, "Hey, why don't you say it this way?" Or what do you mean by that sentence? And then Sharon will be like, "Well, what I meant was blah blah blah," and then I'll say, oh, okay, you need to write that in because you're thinking that up here, but it didn't find its way onto the paragraph. Makes sense, right? So this is the great thing about having other people in the session. This is why it's way better than one-on-one tutoring, because now you have other people asking you questions. And if your writing can hold up, that's the best way to learn because everybody gets it. Nobody has a question. So when you turn it into your teacher, that type of writing, you're going to know, hey, I know my writing is good because I worked with my workshop group here in the tutoring. Okay. All right. Enough about that. Let's jump right in. So, narrative writing, I think we'll focus on this week, is storytelling. And when you think about a narrator, if you look in the chat, a narrator is someone who tells a story. So narrative writing, writing, you become the storyteller. Okay, you become the storyteller. So your hook is going to be different. You're going to show, not tell. In expository writing, you're going to be more explicatory, if you will. You're going to explain things more. When it comes to narrative writing, you want to show the reader, which means you're describing things in order. Okay. So some of the transitions here, and by the way, what are some of the transitions, class, for narrative writing? A transition is a word that connects one idea to the next and is a transition that joins two things together, right? Also is another transition. So what are some storytelling transitions you're going to want to use when have you write in a few minutes?
Um, I think like some I don't really know, to be honest.
It's an honest answer. You guys already know this kind of because I kind of sometimes see it in your writing, and I've seen some of your writing. So, and Arush, if you want to share in the chat, you can. I'm gonna give you some right here. So some transitions for writing stories for okay, transition words are first, then, afterward, following. Okay, look at that. First, then, afterward, following. Here's another thing. One of the things that I looked at your writing with was the rhythm and the flow of your writing. You need to have short sentences, long sentences, medium sentences. Because if you have all long sentences, your reader's going to get exhausted, right? Mentally. And your writing is not going to have a natural flow. Like when you and I speak, it feels natural, right? You can say, "Hey, man, let's play basketball." Period. You in? Question mark, right? And you're like, "Oh man, I have to finish my science project, and after that, maybe." See how that long sentence at the end there? See how it makes it seem like real life? So sometimes our transitions there that we pick, sometimes it's not just a matter of what the word means, but the rhythm of the sentence. How many syllables are in a sentence? Does that make sense? So if, yeah. So this is one of the things you pay attention more to when you're revising your writing, because then you read your writing out loud. Read it out loud. Read it out loud. And then listen for the rhythm, how short sentences are, and then say to yourself, "Oh, I need to make this a little bit longer. Let me get rid of the word but and let me put however." However has three syllables, but has one. Okay, you get it. So I want you to let's start with a 6 word memoir. Now, a memoir is a personal story. So I'm going to give you 6 words to tell a story. But this has to be about basketball. Okay. We I'm going to go really fast. We practiced a lot. Very tired. Thirsty. I don't care about sentences right now, just ideas for a second. Okay, go ahead and read that in the chat. How many words is that? 6 words. 6 words. So I'd like you to practice doing a 6 word memoir. Now,
Wait, do we type in the chat or
yeah, you can type in the chat.
all right? And this has to be about basketball.
Yeah, make it about basketball.
All right, cool.
It can be anything about basketball itself, your basketball tennis shoes, your coach, the game, the arena, the team, oh, anything with regards to basketball. Okay. So go ahead. Don't overthink it, guys. The key to this at times will be your visual memory, whatever you can see. Write about that. So if right now I'm thinking about a Lakers purple jersey, then that's what you want to write about. Um, and then write about what you know about Lakers jersey, purple. I love purple, right? It's that simple. Nice. Dribbled down the court, shoot, score. Nice. Yep. Okay. Arush, you can write another one, but maybe have it part of the same scenario. So right now, you probably imagined a particular player dribbling down the court, shooting and scoring. Now, what happened before or what happened after that? Write a second six-word memoir, but this time kind of related to the first. Whoa, the fans cheered, players loudly dunked. You know what I like about that, Sharon? And by the way, Arush, what I like about yours is that it shows motion, so I can imagine him going down the court. And Sharon, what I like about yours is you started with the crowd, and by the time you have the players dunking, it's so loud. I can sense the energy because it has to be in order for you to hear that over the noise of the crowd, it has to be pretty intense. So this leads me to believe that this is a true NBA game or a college game where these players are huge. Um, yep.
Yeah.
All right. And again, I want each of you to continue this. Treat your first one as a story and then continue it down. So I'm going to continue mine also. We practiced a lot, very thirst,
So we
very
just like
tired.
continue doing the same thing, right? Or
Yeah.
all right.
But give me six words, and this time make connect it to the first six words. Either it happened before or it happened after. Good job, Arush. Opponent passed the ball, interception, score. Okay. Sounds like a team winning. Mine is coach was satisfied to the cooler. Okay, now while Sharon is still working on that, Arush, you're going to we're going to have you think of some transitions here. And then the next step we're going to do is we're going to turn each of these 6 word memoirs into complete sentences. But I'll demonstrate first, if you will. So it's just something for you to think about, like how you want to start that story, what transitions you're going to use, what other kind of filler words are you going to call the player? Are you going to say number 76, pass the ball? Let me see. Yeah, Luca dribbled down the court, then he shot, then he scored, right? So what kind of filler words are going to make that sentence complete? Orange ball in the air, swish. Hey, all right. Nice. Okay. Let me demonstrate for both of you right now. So if you're thinking, if you're doing kind of think about transition words, let's quickly in the last 5 minutes here, let me um let me demonstrate for you. Okay, so my what was my first one? Yeah, first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to save the chat, show in folder. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Okay, great. I'm going to take all this, and by the time we have our next session, I'm going to create our session document. So let's stop our work right here, and I want you to let's just quickly as we finish out because I have to get ready for the next group. What did you find helpful about our session today?
Um, I found I found what was helpful today for this session was like create creativity and a sense of like using your mind to like think of like objects or people to write about. And I think like if you're like an author, those are like kind of like main components that you need to have to like write a book or write something that's like to show to the public.
Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're slowing things down and we're also focusing on ideas. We notice we didn't care about the sentence structure because good writers allow themselves the opportunity to get in touch with their creativity, like you said, and then they move into the next stage. So you have to be able to let your ideas come out. Sometimes it's called free writing, where you just write, and you let your mind wander and come up with that, all kinds of words. Good sharing. How about Arush? You can share briefly in the chat. Um, Imprinting words to make 6 word memoirs and help the reader imagine the scenario. Very good. And yeah, and I noticed that you could see what you were saying. And I want you to remember that because your visual memory is going to help you so much in your writing and in your reading as well. So use that to your advantage. And I will see you guys on the next session Wednesday. All right.
All right,
Take
yeah.
care.
All right.
All right. Take care. Thanks.
All right.